there are assumptions where the training of the boy child had been handled with some levity or neglected, you know, and we see that in some cases.
The problem with this most of the time is a lot of people do it with bias in their hearts, right? If there is no pure motive. So I know genuine people who are pushing it
Their
with
agenda.
pure motive.
Yeah.
But most of the time, the people who push this, they're not pushing it with genuine motive. We need to look at the people who are trying to push their agenda. Sister, brother, sister most of the time. Really, to be sincere, sisters most of the time. Most of the people who gave birth to this generation, I'm not saying all, most of the male did not really do well. So we have produced people who are still hot and they have not healed from the mistakes, from the trauma that were caused from the previous generations.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode. Remember in the last episode I told you guys that I have a gift for you guys, and it's a guest. So I have a guest, my very good friend, Pastor. Okay, so I have him on set, and today we'll be talking about something really interesting, but I want him to introduce himself first. So please tell us. Introduce yourself, your name, just tell us about yourself.
Okay, my name is Bamilere. I'm married to a beautiful wife, and I have an handsome son. And I'm a photographer, right? Portrait and wedding photography. And what else? What else do I do? Yeah, basically that's it. I'm not a pastor.
Yeah, but you teach.
But I love teaching, yeah. Yes. I just love to see people grow, yeah.
He's actually a very good teacher.
Thank you.
And that's why we brought him here, you know, to just shed light, insight on one or two things. So this particular episode, I want us to talk about raising the boy child in our generation. Right? And I know that conversation, there's been many angles to it on the internet. People have had different opinions, and, you know, and one of the most recent ones would be the one that was the conversation that was had on Ebuka's show, Mentality, with Ebuka, you know, where he had talked about what does it mean in the world today, what does it mean for a man to show up, what does it mean for a man to be present, you know, growing up, relationship male children have with their dads, with their parents, and all of that, right? But before we get into it, tell us about your background, you know, how was it growing up, your family setting, you know, just tell us about your background.
All right, that's interesting. I'm from a family of 4. I'm the last born.
Okay. Are you the only boy?
No. So I have one brother.
Okay.
So I used to say that I'm more like an afterthought, not in a negative way, but I love it in a positive way. My other sister is almost, I think, 8, 9, 10 years.
Your immediate
elder sister.
Wow.
It's almost like 8, 9, 10 years older than me. So most of the time, I'm always like, oh, I think my parents
we're done,
and then they just, maybe one thing just happened. Maybe on one rainy night, and God was just like, I need to send this boy to the world, and that's how I came. And yeah, I have two other sisters and one brother, like I mentioned. And it was really cool growing up with them. Most of them, all of them are, you know, the age range is very different. So most of the time, I'm always the one to do the house chore, even though I don't like it. I honestly don't like it. But you see, interestingly, my mom is very strict. Growing up, she was the, you know, most of the time people say their dad is always the strict one, right? But reverse is the case for me. My mom is very strict, and she was very intentional about my growth. I think maybe God told her something, and she was very intentional. I hated it while growing up, to be honest, but after now that I'm now an adult, I still consider myself a young person, but I really appreciated, or I do appreciate the things that she did. I'm glad that she was that intentional about me growing up. And one of the things she did, apart from making sure that I really know the Lord, she's always taking me along to prayer, always ensure, that I think I saw a video, is it Folagade Banks, of how you carry mats while you're going to church and all that. That's literally how I grew up. My mom will come pour water on you. See, it's time to go for prayer. And she always mentioned something. She said, I wish I know the way of the Lord very early. You know that scripture, it is good that a man should seek the Lord while he's still young. I know. My mom really mentioned that to us a lot of time while we were growing up, that I wish I knew the way of the Lord very early. My journey will have been faster. My becoming who I am today will have been very, very different. So for her, yeah. So she was always hammering that you need to know the Lord. You need to know the Lord. And apart from that, my mom believes that everybody should be homely. Everybody should be domesticated, right? So most of the time when she's in the kitchen preparing for the whole family, you will always see me with her. Those times we're always watching Super Story, all of this. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And even though she loves that, we watch all of those TV shows, but she's always, you know what, you need, because every last one have the tendency to be lazy. My mom was like, no, you can't do that in my house. So that was more like it for me. My dad, on the other hand, is his own style of training, discipline is very, very different. My mom is the very strict one, but my dad will rather, sit you down to have conversation with you and just correct you. I don't think my dad ever beat me while growing up. It was my mom. All the econos, all the knock,
dragging your ear, abara.
I know all of those sign language. When your mom just look at you,
you already get it.
Yeah. So I grew up in that kind of setting. Yeah. So
it was well balanced, discipline. I like that you talked about the fact that your mom, interestingly, because I feel like those were some of the things that we are probably blaming some of our parents for. We feel like when it comes to the boy child, we sort of think that the domestication part of it, like doing domestic chores, they left it to the girl child. But I like that in your own experience, it's different. So apart from these things that you've said, you hammered on your mom intentionally raising you. Is it because you're a boy child, first? And then secondly, beyond these conversations, do you think your mom also had other conversations as regards, keeping friends, academics, keeping friends with the opposite sex?
Oh, yes. Not completely, right? First, let me talk about academics. The both of them, my dad and mom, were very intentional about my academics. But, they didn't really know much, right? So I feel like it was my elder ones that took that role upon themselves. All they just did was let's provide for him. My elder sister, Asat, most people that saw us growing up thought our firstborn, that's my elder sister, was the one that gave birth to me, because she was already in school around the time that they gave birth to me. So
school, like secondary school?
Yeah, secondary school. She was around, I think, SS1 or SS2, SS3, around that time. So when they gave birth to me, so look at the age range, right? So most of the time people felt like she was the one that gave birth to me. So they were more involved in my academics. So most of the time my parents would just check the results at the end of the term and just have conversation with my siblings. How can we help him? I know. But you see, for the relationship aspect, right, I think the only advice they gave was just is the advice that every African parent gives. That is evil communication, corrupt good manners. And the other one is
remember the house.
Remember the house. Remember the son of whom you are. Right. So I think that was it for me. Yeah, that was it for me.
Okay, thank you. When you were introducing yourself, you had mentioned that you have a baby boy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that you had, when you knew that you were having a son, right? Do you think that you, of course, you knew that you were going to become a parent, so there were some preparations you must have put in place, or you were putting in place, like, how do I want to raise this child? How do I want to grow this child? Do you think that at the point where you found out the gender of your child, do you think that you felt like, okay, it's a boy, I need to maybe do some things more, or I need to raise him up differently, or you didn't feel any pressure at all? You just felt like, I mean, regardless of the gender, I will raise them the same way.
Okay. Okay. So before I answer that question, so I went to pick my son from the crèche. I think 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. And I was just thinking about it, that my son is going to learn, is that judo or karate? Is it karate or karate? I don't know the pronunciation. This is just something I just desire. They have to learn how to fight. That's just, so let me just say this now. In case you want to bully my child, just know that the father is already planning to enroll. I know my wife won't like this anyway, because my wife is always very, very careful with John. I don't want him. Nah, he's going to definitely make her. But when I knew we were going to have a son, and by the way, I knew that we were going to have a boy child first, even before my wife got pregnant. But the interesting thing is, we've been preparing for, I personally, before I even got into a relationship, I've been preparing for this day before now. I don't think that parenthood starts when you have a child. No. It's something that should start before, something that should start even before you are married, right? And it's first and foremost coming into that consciousness, and you begin to build yourself before that day. Yeah. And one of the things that have really helped me, I'll say two things. The first is, I think to a reasonable extent, I have wonderful models like my dad and mom. Now, it's not a perfect marriage, but I strongly believe that the both of them are strong influence on the kind of person that I am today, right? The mixture of a street mother, and even though she did that from a loving perspective, like loving angle, and the mixture of a father who is not street, he will just be the one to sit you down and talk to you. I remember I was traveling to Obomosho one day, and the Lord began to open my eyes to how that the both of them, I needed the input of the both of them to actually form the kind of person I am today. So I refer to my mom as the lion, and then my dad as the lamb. You need that dimension, right, to be a balanced person. So the both of them strongly affected the kind of man that I am. And I always say this: you will always produce after your kind.
Very true.
Right. So
Very
the
true.
kind of person you are will strongly determine the fruit, right? Yeah. So for me, parenthood first and foremost starts from you becoming a better version of yourself. And I knew this even before I entered into a relationship and have a baby. And the other thing, apart from my parents being a wonderful model, they are not perfect, like I mentioned. There are always things that you can improve upon. But I feel like they really raised me with love, right? And that kind of shaped my life, right? It was when I got to school that I started hearing the kind of home that people, came from. I'm like, oh wow, this is strange, because when I was in secondary school, like I mentioned, I'm the last born. I was still sleeping on my daddy's back. My daddy was present. Now, he might not have all the money in the world, but trust me, both of them, I have a present parent, even till now. Wow. Yeah, I have a present parent even till now. So it really shaped me. And when I got to school, the other aspect that they were not able to, give me, and that's basically just because, their generation, most of them did not even experience it. My daddy has never mentioned that. Has never said I love you before. He has never said that. But it's even the both of them, my dad and my mom. But you will know from their actions that they do love me. So their means of communicating it is not. African parents will rather eat sand. Now, it's not like they did it intentionally. It's not like they did it intentionally, right?
Yes,
it's just
they don't know better.
They don't know better. Yeah. It's not they were not raised like
in that way. Yes,
but I saw the days that my parents will empty their accounts. I saw the days my parents will inconvenient themselves. I saw the days they did not eat. I saw the days where they will have to let go of, their dreams and ambition just so that, and by the way, I'm the only one that went to private school. That they were that intentional. They just wanted the best for their child. So I was raised with love. And the other aspect is when I got to school, God started introducing me to role models. I don't want to use that word. I feel like I started seeing different prototype of who a man should be. I was surrounded by people that that made me realize that there is more. Even though I've experienced something beautiful, I'm from a loving home. Now, the aspect that they could not give me, I started seeing it in other people. I started seeing different prototype, and that really, really accelerated my journey. Yeah.
Interesting.
Did I answer the question very well?
Yes, you did. I asked about, preparing to be a parent and, specifically for a boy child. And you said that you even knew you were going to have a boy first.
Yeah.
And, when we were talking about the sacrifices parents make, I remember that I had seen a video from Fola Gbade Banks, where he tried to reenact, some of those moments where the child was being almost sent out of school, and your mom had to go and borrow money from cooperative. I had the same experience
wait, let me just tell you. So I remember so my house is not far from my school. So literally I can actually open the window of my classroom and I can call them from the house. It's not far. So I remember this particular day that they sent me home, and my mom came to beg. And my mom was begging them, let this guy stay, let this guy stay. And she was crying. That picture is still, is still in my mind, still fresh. And I remember just saying, you know what, let's just go home. I would rather be at home than subject you to this kind of embarrassment, because the person you are even begging is is not in the same sawawu with your firstborn. Now I know that we don't have the money, but then still I just felt like dignity. Yes, I just felt like it was way too much. And you can't blame the school anyway, but I just felt like it was embarrassing. Now my mom did that just so to let us know that I can do anything for my child. So I went home. Now the embarrassing thing is you can't even lie. It's always obvious anytime they send me home that it was because of money. You can't even lie that maybe you were sick but everybody will literally see you. They will see you when you are going to the kitchen from the classroom. All right.
Good. This is well. Okay, so the reason why I'd asked about, like what preparations did you have, before, you had your son, is because, there's a lot of conversations today about how, there are assumptions and then in some cases proven facts where the training of the boy child had been handled with some levity or neglected, and we see that in some cases. For instance, you tell the girl child that sexual purity is important, but then you're not telling the same to the boy child, and so you have issues in the society. And it also looks on the other end that the girl child gets a lot of strict training. And even now in the workplace and society, we are pushing for gender equality, women first, gender balance. So we're trying to recruit more women. In fact, I know a particular organization, without mentioning name, where, I think it was predominantly men. So in the pursuit of balancing it out, recruiting more women, they now have a problem on their hand. They have just one man in the whole of the department, a department of more than 20 people. So now when people resign, they are now looking for men to fill up those roles. So in the first instance, they were trying to solve a problem by ensuring that there's a gender balance. Now they've gone back now to the same problem they had in the first place. So it looks like even what the solution that society, people are proposing is not even working. It's also creating another kind of problem where it looks like, okay, we're going to get to a point where men will be the one needing this gender balance again, right? So I just want to hear your thoughts about that.
So, like you mentioned, in an attempt to solve a problem, we unconsciously
create another
problem. Mm-hmm. And it's very, very important that we try to not push certain matters to the extreme. So, number one is we want to make the female, right, be inclusive in everything we want to do.
Yeah.
So the problem with this most of the time is a lot of people do it with bias in their hearts, right? If there is no pure motive. So many people that I've seen online that push this agenda. So I know genuine people who are pushing it with agenda. Pure motive. Yeah. But most of the time, the people who push this, they're not pushing it with genuine motive. Many of them have. I'm trying to be careful.
Yeah, I know.
Many of them actually have issues with the male, like with male gender. They have issues. And most of the time, I feel like it's from a trauma that they have not healed from. So before we even begin to talk about this, we need to look at the people who are trying to push the agenda. Sister, brother, sister most of the time. Really, to be sincere, sisters most of the time. You need to first and foremost check and heal from it. Many people are from a family probably, and most of the people who gave birth to this generation, I'm not saying all, most of the male did not really do well. So we have produced people who are still hot and they have not healed from the mistakes, from the trauma that were caused from the previous generation. So I feel first and foremost, before we can even begin to talk about gender, is it equality or equality?
They're calling for gender equality.
Gender equality. I don't want to go too much about that. But before we even begin to talk about that, I feel like people need to take out time to heal. People need to take out time to heal. Now, I was going to mention this. While growing up, I don't know if you're going to ask me, but I think we had that conversation. While growing up, I had the same issue. Most of the foundations, most of the initiative, most of the people who came to my school and even churches back then, their attention was on the female. And personally, I had to figure out many things by myself, especially when it comes to relationship, when it comes to sex. Most of the things that I learned it by watching movies. I learned it online. The attention was on the female. But shout out to people. I think the narrative is changing, to be honest. Shout out to Building Men Thoroughly by Timi Awisu. Shout out to Bridge Up. That's Silas Bamibola. They are doing amazing things, consciously building the male gender. But I just feel like people need to know that there is an order, right? There is a structure to this thing. Most of my belief system is formed by the scripture. If we just follow it, we won't have issues.
We won't have issues.
Yeah.
Thank you. I like the fact that you highlighted that people need to heal first. I think when we heal, then we can now with clear eyes see what the problem is exactly and then deal with it. Very correct. The final question I want to ask, also still centering around all these conversations, and the last thing you talked about when you gave the example of how many of the things that we are doing is more concentrated on the girl child and men are not even being shown the ropes, right? There was a video I watched, I think I had shared it with you, where the man talked about men are not prepared for marriage. In their mind, they even think that they are, or they think that they know what they are expected to do. But when they get into the marriage and then their wives begin to expect marriageable acts from them, there seems to be like a conflict, right? So how do we think we can prepare this generation, our own children, the younger generation that is already born, that are already even teenagers, or the Gen Zs, or even those after them? How do we think that we can prepare them, to be family men, to be marriageable men that they know that being a married man, being a father is beyond provision, is beyond providing. Because to be fair, in the world today, both men and women are now even providing in the homes, right? So if a man doesn't know that there is more to provision that he needs to bring to the table, especially in a home where the woman is also providing, is going to fall short of many things, right? So how do you think that we can actually prepare this generation for that?
All right. So I feel like marriage and being a married person, being an husband is way beyond just providing money. Now that is part of it, because it's very important that you cater for your family, right? But much more than that, we need to go back to the beginning. We need to go back to Genesis, right? What was the first assignment? What was the first thing that was given to Adam, right? For me, I will say leadership. For me, but if I want to relate it first, let me go this direction. A man should be able to first and foremost become what you are saying. So your child will not first and foremost listen to what you are saying. They will pick lessons from what they see you do. That is how people learn, right? If you are just saying, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, and we can't see that in your life, then what you are saying is so contradictory, right? Yeah. So whatever you want to see your family do, whatever you want your child, boy, girl, even your wife to do, you need to become it. You need to lead yourself first. Now, if you have not learned to lead yourself and you are just giving direction and just do this, then what you are just doing is you are just bullying people around. So most of the time, you need to work on yourself first and foremost, right? Become all that you want to see in people, and then from there, build a culture that people can, pick up in the house, right? But the most important thing for me is leadership. Number one, I said you have to lead yourself. Now, number two is you have to be able to provide leadership. And whatever your child, like I mentioned, whatever your child see you do, they will pick it unconsciously, because it's now a culture in the house. So you should be able to tell a woman, this is where we are going. Provide vision. Direction. You should be able to cultivate your woman. Now, if a woman come into your life, they should become a best version of themselves. Very true. Now, because that's what scripture says, right? I remember on my wedding day, as I was going to the altar, I've shot quite a number of weddings. As I was going to the altar, that vow just kept ringing in my head. Love the church as Christ loved.
Love your bride as Christ loved the church.
And I'm thinking about it. How did Christ love the church? Now, it seems like it's more like a quotable quote to a lot of people. But how did Christ love the church? Christ loved the church by dying for the church. So, literally, as I was going to the altar and I say, I was happy, I loved, but then the butterfly was not really there, because I knew what I was going to do.
I mean, actually, saying it right now, if you think about it in that way, why are you dancing?
Really, it's more like I'm going to the altar to go and die.
God.
So, if you check the pictures, I was not smiling. Now, not because I was not happy. I was very, very happy that I am getting married, but at the same time, I just kept thinking about the vow. Because do you know what that means? You are making a vow. The reason why we are doing a church wedding is because you are standing before God and His church, His holy people, and you are making a vow to the Lord that I am going to love this woman as Christ loved the church. So what that means is, even if you have to die for her. Now, you have to die. And how did Christ love the church? Christ died for us even when He did not know whether we are going to appreciate it or not. No. So whether the woman appreciates it or not, you still have to die. So you are not loving her because she's doing something or she has done something that deserves that loving. You have to love her unconditionally. So Christ died for us even when we're not doing anything. We don't want it. We don't deserve it. But He died for us. So He said you should love your wife like that. And sometimes when you think about it, your wife will just do something that just vex you and just be like, oh. Even to say I love you with your mouth will be very, very hard. But you now realize that all these things, right? Marriage, beyond just the lovey-dovey and all of those things, marriage will show the kind of person you are. You see that you begin to die to self, right? So if you begin to do these things, become that kind of man, you will see that you won't even have to teach your children certain things. Now, you will have to teach it, but they will say, this is who my father is. This is the norm in our house. So when they go out, when they see the way their father treats their mother and they go out, it will be strange because they have not seen that happen in the house. So really, for me, if you have to raise a child, prepare them for marriage and all that, we need to be an example. And I am just praying that there will be many examples, many prototypes, the kind of man that people can look up to and say, oh yes, I would love to be like this person when I grow up. People say it jokingly, but I feel like we need that in the church. I'd love to be like this man. I'd love to be like my father. I'd love to be like my mother because they have embodied everything that they are trying to teach. So it becomes very easy to teach it.
I like that, because I mean, most times everybody's talking about, oh, this person is my role model. You hardly hear people say, oh, my parents and my role models, my parents and my mentors. I like that. And, you know, to wrap it up, I just want to summarize with what you've said about, I feel like before people tie the knots, just that thing you've said, they can just re-emphasize it and recap it again, you know, to know that, I mean, because the society is formed from the family unit, right? When we get it right in the family unit, the world will be better. We'll raise better individuals. We'll have people with integrity and honor. A lot of issues that we are dealing with on a larger scale as a nation and globally would not exist once we can get it right from the family unit. And so it's important how we raise our children, how we raise them for the future, you know, to be family men, married men, responsible men, and even like our girl child. Thank you so much. To cap everything up, right? Okay. The fatherhood of God, very short.
To be honest, right, one of the first revelation that I had, right, should I say understanding, that I had at the early days of me working with God is actually the fatherhood of God, right? And that kind of, I think I started understanding it better now that I have a child, right? I don't think there is anything I can give up from my child. There are days I will just wake up, I will just be looking at him, and I'll just be smiling. Now, I can't really tell you why I'm smiling, but I just know there is something about him that makes me happy. Now, he has not done anything. It's not like, there is absolutely nothing he has done. I just love him. Now, because he came out of me. And it's the same way that I see my relationship with God. Now, what have I done to deserve his love? He just loves us because we came out of him. He created us. And sometimes I look at this scripture. If earthly fathers know how to give good gifts to their children, how much more your heavenly Father, that he cares for us. Even before you ask, the Father knows that you need these things. You know, I just look at the way I'm thinking about my child. I'm already thinking about the fact that I'm going to teach him, enroll him in a career school and judo. I know. I'm already thinking about the future. I'm already thinking about the kind of wife he's going to get married to, even though he's still 9 months old. I'm already thinking about the school. I'm already thinking about how I'm going to do all of these things. The boy does not even know anything. It makes me to know that beyond how I am thinking about myself, the Father cares about me.
Very true.
The Father is thinking he have everything sorted out. So scripture says the thought that he has for us are thought of good and not of evil, to give us an expected end. I don't expect my child right now to start thinking about what he's going to eat tonight. The father, the parent has that covered. So sometimes when we become anxious and we are overwhelmed, and it's more like saying we have an irresponsible father. We don't just trust the Father enough to come through for us. Because beyond how you can think and try to figure out things by yourself, you have not just received the fatherhood of God. Many of us are living like an orphan. And that's probably because we don't have an earthly father to kind of demonstrate that to us. You know, so we need to come to terms with the fact that I have a father and he knows my name and I'm not a bastard. You understand?
Yes,
so I don't think I want to go too deep too much, but really that has been my experience with my son John, just trying to figure out everything for him while he's just there, just eating,
sleeping.
He's in GJS also.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really hope that this, yes, thank you. I really hope that this episode bless every one of us. Thank you especially, to be honest. Thank you. It was good having this conversation. No regrets at all. I know that, you know, I mean, in this new journey, reintroducing the channel, one of the things that I pray and desire to God that for everyone that sits on this couch, you know, they would bless lives and, you know, you will not come in vain. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
God bless you.
Amen.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share. Just make sure you digest it.
Subscribe.
Thank you.
And share with your friends.